3, 2, 1. It's go time. Welcome to the show. It's go time. This is the ultimate podcast for salespeople and sales managers that are in the final expense industry who've got to talk to people to make a sale. Right? You just found home if this is the first time listening to the podcast, and this is the more than one time that you've seen the podcast. Welcome back, baby. Right? This is the number one final expense podcast in the world. The only problem is the world doesn't know about it yet. So if you like it, if you get value out of it on an episode by episode basis, please just share it with your teammates, share it with a friend. If they ain't making the money they want to in the final expense industry, which is tough in and of itself, please share the episode. It would mean a lot to us. But here today, we got the Croatian Tiger, per usual, our technology genius, Robert Bizzacki. Thanks for doing what you do. He's back, the Croatian Tiger, right? And Dylan Wynn, our co-host, he is in where? Where is he at in the world? He's in Greece. He's in Greece. Him and a teammate won a trip, and they are kicking it in Greece, doing that thing. And I've been to Greece before. It was awesome. That's where I proposed to my fiance on a boat, and it was awesome. Greece is fantastic. If you've never been, you should go to Greece. And so let's rock and roll. So this is going to be a solo episode here today. And let's kick it. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. So this episode is going to be 3 ways to increase your income in final expense today. And before we get cooking, there's going to be in the show notes because we're going to be doing a Q&A much more often here. And we'd like to know where your head's at in the business. What are the challenges that you're going through? What are the struggles that you're going through? Because look, you don't have to do this business alone. You may feel like you're alone, but let's talk, let's chat. Throw your question in the questionnaire, and we'll get to them. And eventually, we're going to be doing call-ins. Call 888-123-45678, something like that. So we got to get a phone number, but that's our intention. So let's rock and roll. So 3 ways to increase your income today in final expense. And I think the number one way to increase your income in final expense today is to dial in your schedule and follow your schedule no matter what. The number one reason that I see people failing or not really executing in their potential is that we are not, one, we might not even have a schedule, and then 2, if we do have a schedule, then we're not committed to it. What does it look like when you're not committed to it? Okay, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go 9 to 6 today. Okay, great. Then you start at 9:15 or 10 o'clock or 10:30 or 11 or whatever because of this, because of that, because of a wiffle ball bat. Who knows why we get off a track on our schedule? Now, I've been doing this 11 years and been managing teams for probably about 9 of those years, and I've heard every excuse under the sun of why I can't work today, why I was late, why I cut out early. And Robert, you know what the most ridiculous one was? It was the solar eclipse. You remember the solar eclipse, right? Your teammates today, should I name them? Yeah. T-Pat. T-Pat took off. Hey, T-Pat, if you're listening, which you better be, he took off because of the solar eclipse. Because it was doom and gloom. The world's going to end. Dude, if the world's going to end, man, you might as well write some insurance. So there are so many excuses that you can give yourself. If you're looking for an excuse to not stick to your schedule, you're going to find it. You're going to find it. Oh, it's because of this. It's because of that. Da-da-da-da-da. Now, are there reasons for our schedule for us not to start early or go late or have a day off or have a week off? Yeah, emergencies happen, but you got to really look through it like, okay, hey, Robert, what's the most ridiculous excuse you had of why you couldn't work or why you didn't show up or whatever? Come on, man, there's something somewhere. He said, I don't know. That's BS, bro. When you first started. Yeah. When you first started, think of something. Oh, I'm thinking. Why you were late, right? It's like, oh, I got to go get something to eat or...
I used to take like breakfast at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. so I get to feel like 3.
Yeah, breakfast at 10, breakfast at 11. Like, oh, I got to get a big old... And let me go across town to that place. So like, it could be small things, it could be big things. But if you're making decisions based on emotion and not based on your strategy, for your schedule specifically, you will find excuses on why it's not going to work out or why you're not going to show up on time. Why? Because in final expense, a lot of things are optional. Like there's a ton of optionality. Some people call it freedom, whatever you want to call it, because typically we don't have a thumb over us like we're used to, right? Did you have a thumb on you at your previous job? Yeah, exactly. Me too. It's like if you didn't show up at 8 o'clock, like you're getting written up or you're getting a foot up your keister. Right. And so a matter of fact, we had to be there at 7:45. Like it was 8 to 7, but like we had to be there at 7:45. So it actually wasn't 8 to 7. And like, you know, it's like, what, you don't care about blah, blah, blah. Like my last boss was an asshole. So, but anyways, just not a good person. Like I don't talk smack about people, but he was just not a good human being. And that's why I quit. So, so we got to dial in our schedule. The number one reason why you're not making the money that you want to make in your final expense career is because your schedule is optional. And you got to take a genuine look of the man or the woman in the mirror is, hey, am I sticking to my schedule no matter what? Out barring real emergencies. That's the beauty about our business. If you have a real emergency, cut out and take care of it. Go, right? But it gets skewed. It gets skewed. What's a real emergency? Right? Like sometimes, like a solar eclipse, right? That was ridiculous, man. Like half our team didn't work. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous, man. And I wrote like 4 or 5 apps and everyone's like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm like, how's that eclipse, man? It's like, you were probably outside with those stupid little sunglasses or cool. They were kind of cool sunglasses. But it's like, dude, it was a Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday or something like that. Dude, what's the name of the podcast? It's go time, man. It's not eclipse time. Now, unless here's the caveat to sticking to your schedule no matter what. What if during the solar eclipse, you baked that into your schedule? It's like, hey, I'm going to take those 2 hours to enjoy that deal. Great. It was baked into your schedule beforehand. But isn't it interesting? Just like Betty Crocker, we bake things into our schedule emotionally out of nowhere. Right? It's ridiculous, the excuses that we come up with. Here's an exercise. Write down your top 3 or top 5 excuses on why you're late and why you don't, why you've taken time off. Right? You'll see how ridiculous. You know, if you've only been doing this a week, you probably don't have a long list. But if you've been doing it a couple of years, you'll probably even stop the list ahead of time because you're like, man, I don't even want to go through this list, man. So my first 2 years, it was ridiculous because I was tired. Right. I needed some sleep because I'm hungry because I can't even think of them anymore because I got them out of my mind. Right. So number one reason why you're not making the money that you want to make in your business is because either 1, you have not made a schedule, or 2, you have not committed to a schedule. So what should your schedule be? Go to your upline or somebody that you respect, right? Or a big dog in your company or team that's making the dough that you want to make and say, hey man or gal, like write out, hey, show me the schedule that I need to stick to that'll guarantee me success in this business. If I execute this schedule on a daily and weekly basis, it'll guarantee success, even if I suck. Okay. So that's how you make a schedule, right? You probably already know what that is. And if you don't, that's a good way to do that. And you know, that's a good way to tune up your current schedule too, right? So I continually went to my president or to, Kevin or different folks that were like the number 1 writer or the number 2 writer, number 3 writer, something like that. Somebody that was writing a bunch of business on a consistent basis. And I'm like, hey, tell me what your schedule is. And then what I did is I just tacked on some extra on the end, right? Because I'm like, I'm not as skilled as them, but I can outwork them. Right? Because at the time, I didn't have very many responsibilities at all in life. And look, if you don't have any responsibilities in your life right now, it is go time, bro. It is go time. And you will thank yourself later. Right? So you need to learn to say this full sentence. You know what the sentence is? It is no. It is no. You need to learn to say no. Right? Because what happens is as we go deeper and deeper into this final expense career, the people around you begin to learn that your schedule is actually pretty optional and pretty free. Right? And that can be taken advantage of. Now, this is not being taken advantage of by the snake in the corner, right? This is being taken advantage of by people that love us, that care about us, that we like to hang out with. This could be our friends. This could be our family. This could be our kids, what have you. And like you need to learn to say no, right? So is it part of your schedule? right? Hey, can you do this thing at 4:30? You need to say no. I need to go till 6 because that's my schedule. Oh, this is how it sounds. It's like, oh, but like, you don't have to do that, man. Like you can do that later. Like you can get after it tomorrow. You can do this. You can do that. Like it's all good. And it's like, no, that's part of my schedule. I need to do that. I need to do that for me. Please respect that. All right. And so you need to learn to say no, 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 no. And you'll get used to it. And what happens is you start to train the people around you. That might sound weird, but it's true. Is you start to train the people around you is that, look, man, some people will just stop asking you eventually. It's like, hey, because your time is precious and your career, like, is that person going to be paying your bills? Probably not, right? Is that person going to be, around when you need them? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but they're not paying your bills. They're not going to be paying, your lead investment. They're not going to help you grow your business most of the time, right? And so you need to learn to say no. So the number one reason why you're not making money, the money you want to make in final expense is because you are not making a schedule and or you are not committing to the schedule and you are running your business hour-wise, emotionally, and not based on facts and structure and commitment and grit and stick and stay, right? Because here's also the thing that happens is that we get beat down. We get beat down and it becomes 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And you said you said your schedule says you're going to go till 7 or 8. We go till freaking 9, 10, 11. I didn't get back to the B&B till like 11 o'clock, like twice this week. It was awesome. It was so good to get back in the field. And yeah, man. And like things, like when things get tough, that's when we start to make compromises with ourselves and our mind. Has that happened to you, Robert? It's like, oh man, like I'm tired. It hasn't worked out for me. Like, nobody's bought today. So no one's like, I don't have the energy. I don't want to waste these leads, right? That's a big mental thought that we got to conquer. And it's like, sometimes you got to tell yourself, no, I'm going to get to the next one, right? Because then that's when the magic happens. When you conquer that little voice in your head, that's when the magic happens, right? So you need to delay some of these things so that you can have freedom in the future. So delay freedom now so that you can have freedom in the future. Now, this is my 11th year doing it. I can do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want, for however long I want, and I can basically spend as much money as I want, right? And so that is because, and I keep delaying the optionality. I keep delaying the freedom over and over and over again, right? And stay dialed in my business, stay dialed into my finances, stay dialed in for my teammates. And like things just keep getting better and better and better. And I know one day I'm going to be cashing that check and I'm going to say, Robert, it's been dope working with you, man, but I am out, dog, right? And we can basically do that right now, but I'm going to keep delaying that gratification because my mission is not over until the guys like you guys are rocking and rolling and get to that point too. So number one reason why is you don't have a schedule and you're not sticking to it. This is easier said than done. I'm not saying that you'll set it and forget it and you're not going to have any challenges with this. You're going to have challenges with this. You're going to have a challenge and trouble saying no. Right? You're going to have trouble saying no to yourself. So when things get rough and you start compromising with yourself on like, oh man, I'm tired. Like I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it next week, cause it's like sometimes, especially when it's the tail end of the week and you're like, you know what, if I stop right now, I'm on my weekend. Ooh, man, that's a tough voice to conquer. Woo, that's a real tough voice to conquer. I was doing an interview with a dude yesterday at 2 or 3 o'clock on a Thursday. And I said this. I said, hey, man, I know for sure right now I've got teammates that are heading home. I know for sure. I don't know who, I don't know where, but like I know we got teammates that are throwing in the towel and they are not sticking to the schedule, right, that they had set, right, that guarantees success. And they might not feel it now. You might not feel it now. You might not feel it today. You might not feel it next week, but you will feel it in the future. If you do not stick to a schedule and you run your schedule emotionally, you're going to get waxed. Right? I've got a crystal ball of the future, and this crystal ball is telling me your future. And if you run your schedule with optionality, you're going to get waxed, right? It's going to be a chargeback wave. It's going to be a bunch of setbacks that happen. It's going to be a bunch of underwritings that don't come back the way you need it to. And then you got to run at GI and they're not going to do that. Right. Or it's going to be, just a bunch of setbacks. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm telling you, the final expense gods are real. God is real. Something out there is real, and they reward going the extra mile. They reward sticking to the schedule. They reward telling that little devil voice on on your side of your shoulder when it's like, yeah, you're good. You can go home. You don't have to do that. You don't have to show up early. You don't have to stay late. You got to boom, see ya. You got to conquer that over and over and over again. And sometimes if you're anything like me, if I'm just an alien, I might be the only one. I don't think so. But like, that voice is prevalent a lot, right? And the Croatian Tiger's shaking his head too. So I bet you can agree as well. You must conquer your schedule to conquer your business. That's the number one reason. Okay, so that's number one. To increase your income today, if you get anything out of this, that's the number one thing, and that's what you need to be focused on, right? You could suck at this business. You could be saying the wrong things, which I encourage you to dial in your language, so you can effectively communicate with our clients. But like, I would take somebody who has a dialed in schedule that's getting after it, that's overcoming that voice over and over and over again, overcoming themselves, overcoming the people around them, overcoming their schedule, and committing to the schedule, than somebody that just does it when they feel like it, right? I'm telling you, I've been on both sides of the coin, and it is way, 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 way more profitable to commit to your schedule no matter what. So that's number one. Number two is focus. Salespeople's greatest asset is focus. We are in the age of distraction, right? And all you gotta do is get on your phone and I'll prove you're right. And then all of a sudden you get on Instagram, you get on TikTok, then all of a sudden it's a time machine and 1 hour's gone by, right? I lose in that department. I've lost. They win. I've deleted it. It's off my phone. Right now, I got a teammate manage it for me. Thank goodness. Right. But if you run your business off of that stuff and you can't delete it, then there are tons of apps that can help you stay focused on that. So just get it out. So if you just got to budget it in for 12 to 12:30, yeah, okay, I got 30 minutes of social media time. Great. Scroll away. But what happened? I mean, how many people, Robert, do you think actually have, set times for scrolling? 1%. Yeah, at 5% at best. We don't have real numbers on this, but it's a lot of people just willy-nilly scrolling McDolly. But focus is going to be our biggest asset. This is going to be a huge income producing activity for you when you focus on your focus. Okay. So number one with focus is you got to keep a target in front of you. Like, isn't it interesting that we have so much more juice and so much more grit and so much more tenacity and so much more push in our schedule? Because these are all linked, right? When we are focused and we have a target that we are chasing, right? So Robert's been on fire right now because he's got a target, right? And you've got a game plan and you've been holding your schedule. Right? Is this all true? Hell yeah, man. Dude, isn't that weird? Right? We just talked before off camera. It's like, dude, I've never had more money than I have. And I got 1,700 coming. And I'm going to be having this and that. And I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Like, it's because he's focused. It's because he's sticking to his schedule. And he's not a unicorn. What works for him, what works for me, will work for you. And so, because we're all in the same business, baby. So you got to keep your target in front of you. Talk about it to other people. This is what I'm going to do. This is my focus. This is where I'm going. This is the thing I'm attacking. But what if I don't hit my target? Then people will think I'm a failure. Dude, who gives a shit, right? Tell people what you're going to do and you're more likely to do it, right? You're more likely to hit it, right? And I respect somebody that tells me what their target is and then they fall short of it than somebody that's just like, yeah, I'm going to see what happens today. The I see what's going to happen today guy or gal is a loser in the making. Not loser in the sense of I don't mean to be degrading or anything, but you're going to lose, you're going to get waxed, you're going to have setbacks and you're grasping at straws. You're hoping and praying that it goes down for you. So you got to have a target in front of you. Can you tell me what your target is right now? Can you tell me exactly what you're shooting for right now? It's a yes or no. It's like, because if you can't like rip it off the top of your head, then you have no target. And Copernicus says a man that's shooting at nothing is sure to hit it, right? And so you got to have a target in front of you, right? The other thing I would think that you need to focus on is obviously your schedule, right? But is on the front end and the tail end of your days and your weeks, and the front end and the tail end of your months, and the front end and the tail end of your quarters. And if you're in a promotion period, because I know a lot of IMOs do promotions, fantastic. You should be chasing every freaking, you should be dying on the hill for every single freaking promotion you can get. All right. And then focus on the front end and tail end of your year. So let's break down a day real quick. All right. So are we truly focused on getting a hot start? This goes back into your schedule. It's like, so if you're saying you're going to start making calls or dials or knocks at 9 a.m., like, are you truly focused on setting up your life to ensure that that happens? Now, let's just say you got kids. Cool. It might be 9:15. It might be 9:30. It might be 9:45. It might be 10. I don't know what it is for you, but what can you commit to, right? To where you can create, to where you can create your life to support that thing, right? So whatever that is. So if we're not knocking by 10 o'clock or 10:15 or 10:30, because we go super late, then like, dude, we're starting off our day behind. Does that make sense? It's like starting Steph Curry, halfway through the first quarter. That's stupid. The head coach would get fired. It's like, dude, why are you not starting Steph Curry, bro? Let him get hot, right? You're Steph Curry. Whoever's listening, right? You are Steph Curry in your own business, and you're the head coach, and you'd get fired with some of the behavior that you're doing in your business, right? So it's pretty ridiculous to think about. But are we focused on the front end and the tail end? Let's just talk about a day. Are we focused on the front end and the tail end of our day? I'm telling you, this is super critical. This is where I helped so many families and made the most money, is when I was focused on starting early, right? Starting on time. And then when I'm focused on finishing my days, right? Because that's where the magic happens. Like, the confidence is instilled when you're waking up on time and you're getting a decent morning routine, whatever that means for you. You don't need a 6-hour morning routine, whatever gets you juice and jacked and fills your heart and sets your intention for the day, whatever that is for you. For me, it's exercise. And then call my fiance. And so are we focused on having a hot start to the front end of our day? And are we focused on, maybe more importantly in our business, is, are we focused on having a great finish to our days? Right? I was talking to a teammate who's struggling, and he stopped Thursday at 5. Yeah. Robert's rolling his eyes, right? It's like, dude, you're not even trying. Right. And we drive. So he's like, yeah, I left at 5. This is what he said. He's like, yeah, I left at 5 because I had a 3.5-hour drive. Yeah. Yeah. So the thinking that we get involved with is pretty ridiculous. Now, does that make common sense? Of course it makes common sense. Yeah, because I want to get home at a decent time and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But like, we need to instill the right foundation on, like, okay, let's think about it for a second. It's like, dude, there's no glory in getting back, on time, or like finishing like on time. Now, unless it's baked into your schedule, it's like, hey, I have this plan. But like, hey, if you're going on a date, cool, man. Like, if that's what you said on Sunday, then cool, man. Do that on Thursday. But you got to focus on finishing your day. I'm telling you, that's where the magic happens. Not only in your business. So that's where that big house comes from, that big sale comes from, the devil comes from. But also, that's where your confidence comes from, because you are pushing yourself past boundaries, if that makes sense. You're pushing yourself to the next level because you're probably doing things that you didn't used to do. And so you're proving to yourself that you're going to be getting things that you didn't used to get. I hope that sinks in for somebody. Right. And so you need to focus on your front end to make sure that you structure your schedule and structure your life to have a hot start. And you need to structure or you need to have a focus to where you're making sure you're getting a last sit or a last presentation. Right. If you say you're going to go till 6, okay, you need to be like, this is my recommendation, is you need to be getting a presentation that goes till after 6. You don't dial or knock the last person at 6 o'clock. Right? You present to somebody at or after 6 o'clock. Does that make sense? Right? And I'm telling you, that's where the magic happens. That's where confidence is built. That's where your self-esteem is lifted. All right. Self-esteem is one of the most important things in our business. Your self-esteem, my self-esteem personally, your self-esteem personally. And this is where self-esteem is built. Now, what's the flip side of that? This is also where self-esteem is crushed. This is also where self-esteem is lowered. What does Ed Milet say? He says, confidence is built by keeping the promises that you make to yourself, right? So by focusing on the tail end of our week, or definitely week, but by focusing on the tail end of our day or our week, and we're executing on that, because you've got to beat the voices in your head, because we ain't got nobody on thumb. Nobody will know, but you'll know. And this is a you versus you game. All right. And so by focusing on that, that actually builds confidence, right? And so if you're running around with lack of confidence, you need to be looking at the promises that you're not keeping to yourself, right? And there's a guy on Bob Proctor's You Were Born Rich program. It was 91 when they recorded it. I've listened to it like literally 42 times. It's 11 hours long. I've had it for 11 years and I just like have listened to it on repeat. Sometimes I'm paying attention, sometimes I'm not. We're driving a lot, so got a lot of windshield time. But he talks about excellence, and this is how he talks too. He's like, excellence is a commitment to completion. He says, excellence is a commitment to completion, right? And so that means completion of things around your house. This is a completion things in your business. This is a completion to your schedule. This is a completion on your presentations. This is a completion of training. This is a completion of podcasts. This is a completion of your workouts, right? This is a completion of dishes. This is a completion of laundry. Like, if you have a lack of confidence right now, you're probably not completing things in your life. I'm just keeping it real. And that's been real for me, and it's probably real for you as well. And it's almost romanticized to not complete things in our business. You can do it later, man. Let's go do this, right? You don't have to do that. No, man, complete the things that you say you're going to complete. And the schedule is one of them. So focus is the second one. And so where do you need more focus in your life? Where do you need more focus in your business? And start executing on that. Now, I had a question today as I did a training call for a different team. Is she was talking about how she falls off the horse a lot. Not physically. She actually does have a horse. It's kind of funny. But not physically falling off the horse, but like falling off the horse on the schedule. Okay, Pat. Yeah. I'm going to stick to a schedule no matter what. But then you fall off the horse, right? Tomorrow I'm going to get it. I'm going to start at 8:30. I'm going to wake up at 7. Then you wake up at 7:30. You start at 9:17. And then what happens is oftentimes we throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? The key is to get back on the horse as quickly as possible. Ed Milet says everybody gets knocked down, but champions are the ones that get back up the quickest. And it's super important that you let that sink in and you harness that. So if you're knocked down right now, if it's not going your way, right, get back up on the horse. Puff out your chest a little bit. Stick up your chin, man. Roll with some confidence. Get back in the zone as quickly as possible, all right? And so, like, even if it's going to the gym and you don't have a very good workout, good, man. You got to the gym, right? Keep the momentum going. Get back on the horse. I think her name was Wendy. Wendy, if you're listening to this, I love you, girl. Like I sense the emotion that you came to the call with today, and I appreciate your vulnerability. And it was awesome that you brought that up. And so you focus on getting back on the horse as quickly as possible. And that's easier said than done, right? So I talked to a teammate this week, and he had 2 Memantines back to back, right? And for those who don't know, that's a memory medication. That's a red med that ain't getting approved, man, right? And she didn't know about it. We didn't know about it. We looked over prescriptions. It wasn't there. It just popped up. And so that's a dead app, right? That app's not going through. It's all GI all day. And that's okay. And isn't it interesting that all the Nepazils and Memantines are always $100 apps? But shouldn't have, it shouldn't go down anyways. But that can be emotionally, that can hurt us. And he had back to back. And he's like, man, that destroyed my day. That destroyed my day. And I'm like, look, man, like we got to learn how to get back on the horse. We got to focus on getting back on the horse as quickly as possible. This is a skill that you can develop. This is a habit that you can develop, right? But sometimes we're not even aware that we're falling off the horse. So keep your eyes peeled for what gets you off the bandwagon. Keep your eyes peeled for what knocks you off course, right? And focus on getting back on track as quickly as possible. So that's number 2. To increase your income today is focus. Focus, focus, focus. Focus is our number one asset when it comes to a salesperson. That's our greatest asset is focus, especially in the age of distraction, especially in the age where, you know, where people are not very considerate of your time sometimes. It's a challenge. And you need to make sure you're building a tribe around that and setting boundaries with people around you to where it's like, hey, these are my working hours, right? We have teammates that used to work in factories and, had a teammate that had an important life event. I believe how it went down. He's not on our team anymore, but like he was having maybe it was his brother. Somebody was having a baby and like it was 2:00. He could not leave. Like going into labor, wife going into labor cannot leave the factory, right? And so 0 option, right? And so obviously in final expense, you know, your wife's about to pop, you go, bro, right? But focus. So now number three is so number 1 is schedule. You got to stick to a schedule no matter what. Are you emotional with your schedule or not? Like most of the time we can be very emotional. You just got to keep your eyes peeled. Number 2 is focus. What can we focus on, man? Or what do you need to focus on to improve your business? What is robbing your focus? Very important to be aware of that. And then number 3, this is the most important one, maybe, is you got to bust it. You got to execute. You got to execute with optimism. You got to execute with joy. You got to execute with passion, right? This is not a career path where you're like, hey, how you doing? Like you can write apps by not operating with passion, but it's going to be this many, right? You're going to you're going to be mediocre at best if you don't operate with optimism, if you don't operate with joy, if you don't operate with passion. Now, easier said than done, right? Yeah. And so what can you set up in your life to give you more optimism, joy, and passion? Number 1 is exercise. We can go over a long list, but it is busting it, executing, taking lots of action with optimism, joy, and passion, right? This is something that's being lost is optimism. Oh my God. Like the eclipse, man. The eclipse was a beautiful situation and the news switched it to being doom and gloom. You know, it's just the wildest thing. But we got to bust it with optimism, joy, and passion. Our folks, our customers, our clients, our potential clients, they deserve us to show up, right? Either the phone or in person with optimism, joy, and passion. And I promise you, if you're not focused on that, like you're going to be writing double, triple, or quadruple what you currently are. That's tough to wrap your head around. But like, are you really showing up and busting it with gumption, with optimism and joy and passion on a consistent basis? And if it's a no, hey, there's some families that need your help that you're not helping because you're not doing that, right? So are we going the extra mile? Are we going the extra mile on a daily basis? Are we going the extra mile on a leadly basis, right? Are we going the extra mile on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and a quarterly basis? Are we going the extra mile in our fitness? Are we going the extra mile for our clients, right? It's like, oh man, that's a little inconvenient, right? For instance, like if a client, which happens all the time, every week, a client doesn't know what they have. That might even happen every day, right? Fun fact, if a client says they have a certain type of coverage of this amount with this company, they took it out this long ago, and it's this type of coverage, like 90% of the time, one of those things is wrong. That's just a bonus fact. So don't take their word for what they have, right? If they just say what they have in coverage, we call that what? Mystery coverage, right? We still call it mystery coverage, even though they say what they have with conviction. About 90% of the time, one of those statistics is wrong. Either when they took it out, what company they have, what type of coverage they have, how much coverage they have, and things of that nature. Or if it's a mediator, 2-year wait, 3-year wait, 4-year wait, whatever, 90% of the time, that is wrong, right? It might be 85% of the time, but it's almost always, right? And so are we going the extra mile? So what's the example that I was going to give? Oh, yeah. So if somebody has coverage that they're like, look, I don't really know exactly what I have, right? And you can write the app. Well, go over their coverage, like make the call to the insurance company for them. Let's just say they're unhealthy and you can't help them, right? Like make the call for them, organize their insurance for them and write it on a piece of paper and be like, hey, here's the coverage you got. Okay. Make sure that your daughter knows that where this is. Snap a picture of it, send it to your daughter. That way, when that time comes, she doesn't have to do all the homework that we just did. Right? Because we are way more equipped to be calling insurance companies than anybody who's not in our industry. So go the extra mile for your clients, even if they don't become a client. Right? And so you gotta bust it like no other, right? If you execute like no other, then at some point you're going to be able to live like no other. And I know that is a scientific fact that you can take to the bank. The only problem is maybe we haven't been doing that long enough. Oh, Patrick, I did the going the extra mile thing. Man, I did the thing where I've been executing like no other. Yeah, for a day. Yeah, for a week. Yeah, probably not even for a month. Right? Because you'd be gassed at the end of the month and it would be proven to you that this business can be very, very profitable and fulfilling, and you help out a lot of people when you go the extra mile for your clients and you're busting it with optimism, you're busting it with joy, you're busting it with passion. Like, dude, who wants to sit down with somebody who's all mopey dopey? Nobody, man. And so, hey, I've shown up to people's house all mopey dopey and I'm like, yeah, this is the best I can do. No, it's not. No, it's not. Slap yourself in the freaking face if you have to wake yourself up, man. It's like, look, dude, like as far as we know, we got one life to live. Like, how are you going to operate, man? Like, what if this is how we operate? Hey, welcome to It's Go Time. Yeah, it's a pretty good podcast. And we help folks out get a better. No, dude, you'd be like, screw this guy. Next. Right. And so are you operating in your whole life with optimism, joy, and passion? So this is easier said than done. I'm not like this 24/7. Have you seen me in the dumps, Robert? Yeah, dude. That's not how I want to operate, right? But it's almost always because I have not been doing the things that I said I was going to be doing. So understand on why you're not showing up with optimism, joy, and passion, right? Is it because you slammed the door to your house on the way to work? Is it because you said that one thing to your spouse that makes you feel shitty, right? Is it because you're not doing the things that you said you're going to do? Is it because you're not being the person that you know that God made you to be, right? It's some of these things is not allowing you to operate with optimism, joy, and passion, right? Because there's a little thing called momentum. Right. And this is something that, at least for me, sometimes it takes me like a week and a half. Like I just got back from Florida. Right. And today is the first time that I really felt like Pat. Right. After 4 days of really getting after it out in the field. Right. And so it takes, for me at least, it takes a few days to truly catch momentum. And you got to be pushing through barriers. You got to tell that little devil voice on your shoulder to go F off. Right. And you got to keep pushing to actually catch momentum. And at least for me, when I have ultimate momentum, that's when I'm showing up with optimism, joy, and passion so that you can bust it, so that you can have better experiences, so that you can actually capture exactly what this business can do for your business, or what this business can do for your life and for your bank account and for your freedom. Okay. So in review, 3 ways to increase your income today and final expenses. Number 1 is you got to set a schedule and commit to it. Basically, no matter what, barring emergencies. Number 2 is focus. We're in the age of distraction. If you think you're focused, you might not be, right? Are you taking, would people around you say, oh yeah, dude, he's really focused. Oh yeah, she's really focused. Yes or no? And number 3 is busting it. Busting it with optimism, busting it with joy, busting it with passion. I'm telling you, man, when you start executing like this becomes who you are. You might not know that super version of yourself. You might not have really tapped into that person. I don't think I really have. Right. I think I'm mostly there. Right. But there's still other things in my life that I got to clean up and in my mind that I got to clean up, in my business that I got to clean up, in my body that I got to clean up. Like I'm a dad to a dog. Right. And I got to be better for him. Right. It's like I got to be taking him on more walks, and that consumes my mind sometimes. I'm like, damn, dude, like, I don't know if I'm giving him enough walks. And that shows up in optimism. It takes away from my optimism, joy, and passion. So like what is robbing you of your optimism, joy, and passion so that you can bust it and so that you can execute and so that you can take a lot of action to where you can actually realize the true benefits of what this business, the seat that you are in, to where you can really realize what this can do for you, what this can do for your future, what this can do for your family, what this can do for your future family, what this can do for your clients. Because I know if I'm not showing up with optimism, passion, and joy, sometimes I get hung up on more often. Sometimes I get the door slammed in my face more often. Sometimes I just run into more assholes. And it's just a weird phenomenon. And dude, if I'm skipping to the door, if I'm dancing, if I'm like inside, dude, it just seems like better things happen. Right. So it's interesting how that works in the universe that we live in. So I hope this was helpful, guys. There's 3 ways to increase your income for final expense today. We are in your freaking corner. We want to see you succeed. I also want to see you take care of your clients. I want to see you walking away from deals that are not good for clients, because sometimes walking away from the deal from our client, not writing it is sometimes the right play for the client if they truly can't afford it. Right. And so, public service announcement, it is free to be kind, right? Like there's a lot of ballin' bros out there on the Instagram from what I hear. And it's cool to just sell at all cost, right? It is free to be kind. It is free to do the right thing for your client, right? It is free to be nice to people in traffic. It is free to pick up that one piece of litter. Right? If it just blows right in front of you, just pick it up and put it in a trash can that's close to you, right? It's important that we have better human beings on this planet. It's important. And you are the leader in the group that you're in. You are the leader in the group that you're in. And being a great leader, no matter what it's not a title, it's not a position. Oftentimes it's not even how much premium you write or anything like that. It's how you show up. It's being the exemplary example. Right? As one of my coaches says, is being the exemplary example. So this is a great reminder to be an exemplary example in your business, how you show up for your clients, how you show up for your family, how you show up for your friends, and how you show up in the world. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And we will catch you next time on It's Go Time. Robert, what time is it?
It's go time.
It's go time, baby. Let's get it. Peace.